Welcome back to Weaving Materials. This is part 2, and this time I'm here to correct a rather egregious error that I made. I forgot to mention the most important part of weaving, which is the shuttles. This one came with the loom that I'm borrowing from a friend. You've got a bobbin here, which is just like sewing. You wrap your thread around there, and then it comes out this hole. So as you're shuttling your shuttle back and forth through the loom, the thread comes right out that hole, aids you in weaving. Otherwise, it would come out the top, and that would be really hard to deal with. And then you just load it; it pops right out there. But this is not the shuttle that I'm going to be using for this project. I made these two shuttles. You can see they have matching wood. If you flip them both over. So it's walnut on one side, cherry on the other side. This fishhook-like design, you can see I've got some yarn already threaded on here. And it holds quite a lot. I mean, I can fit a huge ton on this flat area, and it bulks out to about that wide on either side. And that gets a little hard to deal with when you're weaving. And passing it through, sometimes the open space that you have gets rather small. So these don't fit quite as well. And they're also pretty wide. But this pointy tip here can cut through your open shed pretty easily. And then we've got the rounded tip there so it doesn't snag. Unfortunately, these tips in the middle have a tendency to snag. And these are a little big for band weaving. Typically use something much smaller for band weaving. But I made these a couple years ago after doing one that was smaller. It came to about here, and it broke. It cracked right along the side here, and it's sad. I don't even know where it is. I might have thrown it away. For the Woolmancy band weaving project, I'm going to be using these guys. I made these as a set, and I don't know if you can see, but each one has a sharpened side, so it's sharpened along here, not sharp enough to cut, of course. And then we've got a scoop on the edge. And then just one scoop here. Because it has less prongs, it doesn't catch as often as I'm passing it through. It's got this nice long side for beating down. And it comes to a point so that I can really get into the grooves of the fibers. This is cherry on both sides, laminated. And it's got a pair that it works well with. In this case, I'm only using one thread color, so I don't have to worry about loading both of these up with 2 different colors. But I do use this the second one as a second beater or to open up a second shed so that I can have a little more space while I'm weaving, and you'll see me do that. You'll also sometimes see me using what looks like a large tongue depressor, and it's not far off. It's actually a stick used for spreading wax. You know, if you go to the salon and get the hair waxed. Just because I didn't want to make another shuttle, and that worked just fine. So these guys I will be using. Someone asked if I would be making more of these to sell, and the answer is I don't know. I would have to manufacture those, and I do have a manufacturing lab nearby where I live, and I have priced that out. But I believe that it's going to be a little too much to do with this, with the Woolmancy book launch. I may add it to the launch for the Woolmancy art book in a few months from now. And actually, I would be redoing the design for this because this gets really close to the edge here. I just kept sanding, and it got a little too close. So this will probably break if I put too much pressure on it. And I would probably have a Woolmancy logo somewhere here just to celebrate the tie-in.